Nanalo ng Family Feud ng team captains ng 200,000 pesos.
Family Feud, 5:40 p.m.
Our one-of-a-kind JKM Burger Pizza, the perfect fusion of flavors that
Nagmamano pa.
That's okay.
The time is 6:40 p.m. Today is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. Last 4 weeks to go before big night on PBB Celebrity Collab Edition until July 5th, 2025. For nominated this week, Dustin and Bianca, AZ and River, and Chouvet and Clarice. For our 6th eviction night on June 14th, 2025. In Balangasa, it's 27 with light rain. Tonight, the forecast is around 26 degrees with light rain. Here's a joke to start your evening. This might make you laugh. Why is Peter Pan always flying? Because he can never land. There are 3 entries for today. Next up, you have dinner at 7:30 p.m. Here's the rest. No tasks for today. Google Gemini is now signing on. All programs telecast on this station have been approved by the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board. Have a wonderful day. Here's the latest news.
From DW News Brief at 5 p.m. today.
This is DW News, and these are our top stories. U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered 700 Marines to Los Angeles after days of protests sparked by immigration raids. Another 2,000 National Guard troops are also heading to L.A. to join 2,000 already deployed. Democratic leaders in California say Trump is trying to manufacture chaos and crisis for political gain. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has described an overnight Russian aerial attack as one of the biggest so far on the capital, Kyiv. Ukrainian officials say 2 people have also died following Russian strikes on the city of Odessa. Meanwhile, Ukrainian drone strikes have forced a temporary suspension of flights in all airports serving Moscow and St. Petersburg. Swedish campaigner supplies to Palestinians. This is DW News from Berlin. You will find more news on our website. That's at dw.com.
From Reuters Family News Brief.
Global at 6:17 p.m. today. Today, Marines are called into Los Angeles as a response to anti-ICE protests ramps up. Russia and Ukraine exchange prisoners of war. An impeachment trial in the Philippines. And what's behind the Warner Brothers Discovery split. It's Tuesday, June 10th. This is Reuters World News, bringing you everything you need to know from the front lines in 10 minutes every weekday. I'm Kim Vanel in Wanganui, New Zealand. Some 700 active duty Marines are on their way to Los Angeles. The Pentagon says they'll be deployed there temporarily until more National Guard troops arrive. The move fueling more outrage from protesters who've taken to the streets over the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Daily raids that have seen thousands of suspected undocumented migrants rounded up. The administration has ordered another 2,000 National Guard troops to the county.
Ang galing na natin, Dale.
2,000 already called up. Governor Gavin Newsom says California will sue the federal government over the National Guard mobilization. The White House says the demonstrations justified ramping up deportation efforts even further. Protests against ICE raids have flared up in at least 9 other cities across the US, including New York and Philadelphia.
Cash. It's just that revenue is declining. And separately, the studio paired with HBO, its premium, television brand, and also Warner Brothers' very expansive film and TV library, appears to be a business that's positioned to succeed in a world dominated by streaming. And it too could end up combining with other streaming companies to make a more compelling consumer offer.
Wolf get a spider.
Air defense guns pound over Kyiv, responding to Russian drone attacks that killed 2 people and damaged swaths of the Ukrainian capital. One of the largest airstrikes on Kyiv in over 3 years of war.
Ayan, chicken.
More than 100 miles to the north,
Tingnan
a
natin
very
si chicken.
different sound.
Ouch! Wag mong yan. Mong palo. No, palo.
A young Ukrainian
Ano ka
man
talaga?
calls his mother. He's a recently released prisoner of war back home after
Ano
Russia
ka?
and Ukraine
Huwag mo papalo yung
agreed
chicken
to
yan.
a prisoner swap. Over in Russia, a similar story. A recently released POW calls his mum too.
Wait lang. Loka.
Christian Lowe
Ulitin
is
mo
in
yan sa
Kyiv.
ating chicken yan
So the
next time.
scenes that we saw quite emotional with the Ukrainians coming over. Actually, in this case, all of the people who came over were under 25. So this is young guys, some of whom haven't spoken to their parents, it seems, for years. And they're calling their parents and saying things like, "Hi, Mom, I'm home. See you soon."
How is this happening in the middle of a conflict?
What happened was that Donald Trump kind of knocked people's heads together and said, Frank, the talks didn't go anywhere in terms of getting closer to a peace deal. In fact, some people argue that we're now further away.
ka.
But one concrete thing that did come out of it was a commitment to do these prisoner swaps. So that's what they're doing. They, both sides, I think, present it as kind of confidence-building measures, which are a first step to a bigger discussion about a way to end this war.
Oh, go,
The
Yoko.
problem is that it feels right now like this first step is where it'll end for now, because we can't see the next steps happening.
Sara Duterte, the Vice President of the Philippines and daughter of former President Rodrigo Duterte, is facing impeachment. Senators are being sworn in as jurors today. If she is impeached, it could have far-reaching consequences for her friend turned foe, the current President Marcos Jr., and for the future of the country. Martin Petty is in Bangkok. What is Sara Duterte accused of?
She's accused of betrayal of the public trust and allegations that she mismanaged her office's budget and that she amassed unusual wealth.
Cool.
She denies that. And she's also accused of high crimes, and that stems from an alleged threat against the lives of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the First Lady, and the Speaker of the lower house of Parliament, who is also the cousin of the President. She denies that. She says these charges and the whole impeachment process is politically motivated. And just this morning, she said that impeachment shouldn't be used as a political tool, and she's ready to defend herself.
Why is this impeachment?
Is limited to a single term, as all
2028.
Philippine presidents are, and Sara Duterte would be expected to be the front runner if she decides to go. Marcos has to protect his legacy here. He's also got the rest of his agenda that he needs to deliver on in the next 3 years. So this whole impeachment process has really stirred this row between them even further, and it's anybody's guess how this is going to play out long term.
And for today's recommended read, Chinese cash-strapped luxury shoppers are shifting to the second-hand market. Think $30 for a pre-loved Coach bag. Consumer behavior in China is changing as price wars rage. And there's a worry that deflation becomes entrenched in the world's second largest economy. There's a link to that story in the pod description. For more on any of the stories from today, check out Reuters.com or the Reuters app. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast player, and we'll be back tomorrow with our daily headline show.
That's it for your news updates. To see more stories, open Google News.